So yesterday, we stopped the story of Jonah in the middle of a storm. And in the middle of the storm, the sailors that were on the ship with Jonah were throwing things overboard to try to make the boat lighter, to keep themselves safe. And they were also trying to figure out if there was something they could do to stop this storm that was happening. And that's, how do you stop the weather? I can't stop the weather. None of us can stop the weather. But they had this idea that there might be something that they could do. And Jonah was asleep inside the ship when the captain went down and said, "Wake up, don't you realize everything that's happening?" And this is where the story gets really, really even more interesting. They were asking, what can we do to make the storm go away? Well, Jonah knew that God was unhappy with him. And he said, God sent the storm because I ran away from him. If you throw me overboard, the storm will stop. I don't know where he got that idea, but he got that idea. Well, the sailors didn't want to throw Jonah into the water. They tried to row the ship back to shore, but they couldn't do it. And every time they tried, the storm grew even stronger. Finally, the sailors knew what they had to do. First, they prayed to Jonah's God that they wouldn't be harmed. Then, they did what Jonah suggested. They threw Jonah into the sea. I can picture them grabbing his arms and grabbing his legs and swinging 1, 2, 3, and letting him go off and over and into the ocean in the middle of this storm and struggling around. And I can imagine Jonah going, "Bye!" and down splash into a wave. And all of them wondering what would happen next. Well, here's what happened next. The storm kept on going for a little while, and the sailors were still afraid as they threw Jonah off the side. But suddenly, the storm stopped, and the sea grew very calm. And God, who had something else in mind, God saved Jonah by sending a big fish to swallow him. Sometimes we call it a whale. We talk about Jonah and the whale. But the Bible just says it was a big fish. Well, whether it was a fish or whether it was a whale, it swallowed Jonah. And there was Jonah. And Jonah found himself. He was still aware of this, which is really amazing. Jonah was inside that big fish. See him there, he's like having a conversation with a crab. And he was inside there for 3 days and for 3 whole nights. And while Jonah was inside the fish, get this, he had a lot of time to think and a lot of time to pray. When you're in trouble, it never hurts to just stop whatever you're doing and pray. And stop whatever you're doing and think about it. Those are both good things. And it helps people calm down and not panic because they can talk directly to God, who's in charge of everything. They might say, try to think what Jonah might have said. Like, Lord, I'm in trouble here, and I know it's my fault, and I think I've sort of learned my lesson. Can you help me get out of it? Please? Please would be a good thing to say. Please is always a good thing to say. So, please help me, God. I'm sorry for trying to run away from you, Jonah prayed. Please give me another chance. You've been good to me. I'll do anything you tell me. And actually, that's the thing that he wasn't going to do. He wasn't going to do what God told him. But now he realized he should have done that in the first place. And God heard Jonah's prayers. And God told the fish to spit Jonah out on dry land. Ptooey! Don't spit now, it's really a bad idea. But he spit Jonah out on dry land. And once Jonah was there, the fish swam away. But boy, was Jonah glad to be on dry land again. But once he was on dry land, he was back where he'd started. And he had a chance to redo everything again. Tomorrow we're going to hear about what his choice was this time. Your choice for now is to go to bed or to make your parents really annoyed with you. And you're going to end up going to bed anyway. So go to bed, have a good night, and have a good day tomorrow too. I'll see you then.